welcome back to this 100 Acre Woods. So, going on part 4 of the log splitter build. So, I'll take you on a quick tour of kind of what we got done, what I'll be working on today, and hopefully we can get this done in the next couple days, just so we can get it wrapped up and start using it. Okay, so where we left off was got the sled on here, have these angle pieces welded on, and need to do a little bit of grinding on these edges to get them buffed out and a little bit more slope. So I may use the MIG welder to fill in some of these spots just to kind of help produce slope. So I'll start by grinding this down and grinding this so it's more like this side over here. So I have this ground down, kind of have a little bit more of a face, and did a little bit better job with the 7018 on this side, getting it filled, and have a little bit more to do there. So what I'm going to do right now, so we have this just tacked on in a few spots just so we could test it out, because we got this hole drilled, so we made sure that the cylinder fit on that and we could get the pin in and out. But need to weld all through here, across, and on the other side, and then across the bottom. So I'll go through and do that, and then work on getting this cleaned up so that it will go fairly well. And then we have some angle pieces to put on both the front and the back here, just to help strengthen all this up, because there's just a weld here and then all inside the channel here to stop it from twisting in and out. So we put some pieces in here just to help strengthen it up. So in previous videos I'd mentioned we were going to put bracing on the side, so these are some of the kind of triangles we cut out to put at each of the corners, just because we just butt welded all of the corners. This will help add some additional strength to those corners. And most of this stuff here I'm just tack welding, so I'm not doing a full weld on. A lot of that's just to make sure that we're not going to have any issues with it, and then later in the video I go through and do a full weld. So here's doing that full weld on the top sides. And then here's kind of a quick look. So using 7018 on this, not too bad, since I'm not a skilled welder, just kind of doing it here and there. So then the one thing about 7018 is it really likes to be flat, and the more straight on you can be with any welding and being comfortable, the better it typically is. So here we used the forks of the tractor to get it so it was elevated, and you're doing more of a straight on weld instead of welding at the side where all the slag and metal is going to want to fall. So did that on the left hand side, and then picking up the right hand side, and again using the forks to lift everything up, and then laying a couple beads of weld along those sides of the supports. So here's the actual mounting bracket that's going to go on the backhoe. So we attached it to the backhoe, put a couple of shims in, and then found a piece of metal that we can put on the bottom side. So here again, just tacking that piece of metal to they call them ears, and then attaching that ear flat plate combination to the actual log splitter. So then here you can kind of see how you rotate it in. So you get it in the initial part, rotate it in, and then clamp down, and that allows you to put the back pin in. And then here we were just kind of making sure that we weren't going to hit anything on the front or the back as we tilt. So then here we're putting the cylinder on. And again, the purpose of this log splitter isn't for speed. This is more just to break down the big logs down to a more manageable size. So even though it's not very fast, it isn't a big deal. And we just have, so we need to finish welding the top piece on. So we need to finish welding the ears to the flat piece, and then the flat piece to the angle, or not the angle, but the I-beam. Here you can see we started working on that piece. Now there's a piece of angle iron across the top of the ears. This is welded in place so that whenever we start welding on the ears, they want to twist in and out from the heat. And that should help prevent that. And then here's a piece we're going to put on the bottom to act as a foot so the thing doesn't want to fall over. Alright, I'm going to give a quick update on kind of where we're at with the log splitter build here. So, all of the main components have been put on now. So the last thing that we did was put the ears on that let you connect the backhoe on. So one of the issues when welding is when you put a lot of weld on the inside or the outside, it will pull the metal in or out. So we did put a brace across the top to help prevent that from happening, but even with that brace on there, once I cut it off after this all cooled, it came together a little bit. So it was enough to where the bucket, the quick attach for the Kubota wouldn't go inside that. There's a couple of skid plates that were preventing that. So and it was close enough that I was able to grind this down to get it in. So here you'll notice there's some orange that I put on there. So these orange marks are spots where it was still rubbing quite a bit. So just took and gonna grind those down a little bit more to let this come in and out a little bit easier. We're working on doing a little bit of grinding just so it will go in and out easier. And then just doing a test fit and getting it all lined up. Making sure the pin goes in. So thank you for watching the Schmitter's 100 Acre Woods. Watch as we use this log splitter to chunk down the bigger pieces of wood to split firewood.